How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. The football season has finished, but the news is still coming thick and fast. And there's only one thing we're going to talk about, and that's Maurizio Pochettino has been sacked by Chelsea. How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So, like I said, the football season has finished, but the news still comes in thick and fast. And no sooner has the season finished and Maurizio Pochettino has been sacked by Chelsea. And I'm not too surprised by that. Not saying that I feel he should be sacked, because I don't think he should have been, but because that's Chelsea. To a T, that is Chelsea. You look at what's happened to Chelsea this season, and from the outside looking in, they're a very young side. They brought in a ridiculous amount of players. They've spent a ridiculous amount of money. And they put them all on ridiculous contracts. Like 47 years or something stupid. Like, it's ridiculous the length of contracts they've put these players on. But it was always going to be difficult straight away to get those players to work, to gel and, change their way of playing and the mentality, the philosophy. And he's very much a disciplinarian. He's very thorough in the way that he does things. If you speak to Spurs fans and, people that know of the work that he does, they will say his training regime is brutal. And it will either make or break you as a player. The standout player, of course, is Cole Palmer. But what's been very evident is that there's a lot of turmoil between him and the owner. And you can just kind of sense it and see it, especially towards the end of the season. I haven't actually seen whether this did happen, but I saw people saying that at the end of the game, at the weekend, he didn't do the lap of appreciation. He just disappeared with his coaching team, which was kind of your first indication that he's had enough. Does he feel underappreciated? Is he respected by Chelsea fans? Probably not, because of his ties to Tottenham. But I feel that it was always a job that was destined to fail. Unless you go and win the Premier League or something like that, they're just not going to accept it. And they're not going to look at the bigger picture. They're not going to see that it could take a couple of years to completely change the philosophy and the minds of what's going on at Chelsea. And when you look at where they finished, I know it's only the Europa League and Chelsea spent the money that they have. They will want Champions League. But where they were, you're looking and you're thinking, he's worked miracles. And I was looking at some of Chelsea's results. They've only lost 2 Premier League games since the 4th of February. And those 2 defeats were against Arsenal and Man City. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some draws in there that they will look at and say they're not good enough. Sheffield United, Brentford, Burnley. They're all the kind of results they're kind of going, you should be winning those. Because those 6 points there, it's a Champions League place. Even though, things might have been a little bit different and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I just think that it's a wrong move by Chelsea. They won their last 5 games. They were really starting to show something about them. And they were one of my teams that I was looking at for next season. And I was tipping to go that little bit further and get a Champions League place. Now, what I noticed with Chelsea is that, they've got a sporting director and everything. And what they look for is a coach, not a manager. So basically, whoever's in charge, the coach, shall we say, has to deal with who's brought in. He doesn't have a say. He has to deal with who the club wants sold. He doesn't have a say. And we're hearing that, the club are wanting to sell Conor Gallagher, for example. And Pochettino doesn't want to get rid of him. Could that be one of the fallouts? Does he want more control? Will the club not allow it? We'll probably never know the real reasoning. Or Pochettino seems like a very proud man and a very, kind of person that will say what he feels. So maybe he will come out with it when the dust is settled. But yeah, I just think this is a big mistake, because you're going to now get another manager in who's going to have to take these players. He's going to have a different way of thinking, philosophies and everything. And it's all got to completely change again. And they've got to start building from the bottom again. This is the problem. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, for a young side, I don't know where they are in terms of how young the team is in the Premier League. I know Arsenal are the third youngest team. Chelsea, I believe, will probably have first or second, something like that. Someone correct me in the comment section as to where that is, or where they are, should I say. But I just think it's a wrong move, to be honest. But then I look at the owner and I think, thank God he ain't Arsenal's owner. Because he just feels like he does everything 100 miles an hour and it's all just random. And there was a big joke when they were buying players that he was literally just looking at Arsenal's shopping list and going, oh, I'll go and get him and I'll get him. There was no actual thought process behind it. So yeah, I just felt that Chelsea had, got themselves into a position where they finished strong, got a European place. The owner himself was talking before the end of the season and saying how great it is now, and he's seeing things and the football they play. And why would you change that? Why would you change that? Why would you do something that means you've got to start from the bottom up again? It's a strange one. Really strange. Would it be a case of Thomas Tuchel returning? Could they realise they made a mistake the first time round? And could that possibly be happening because he's leaving Bayern Munich? There's talk of Hansi Flick. Some people are talking about the Brighton manager. Has he left because this was happening? We don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and yeah, I can't imagine them leaving it too long to get somebody in. They'll want to get it done before pre-season, that's for sure. You'll probably hear something in the next week or a few days even, which just kind of says that it was already premeditated and planned. But yeah, just from the outside in, I think it's a bit of a mistake, to be honest with you. I thought that he was slowly starting to get Chelsea to, do a few things, and they were starting to play a decent, style of football, and players were starting to respond. But is it player power? Do the players not like him, like the training, and it's ultimately got him out of the door? And this is the problem. If you've got players like that, you're never, ever, ever going to be able to sort the situation, because the players constantly, control everything. We had it at Arsenal for a while with players there where you were like, they're dictating everything that's going on. Could be the similar situation with Chelsea. And yeah, just my 2 pence worth, but I think that's a big mistake by them. I think they should have kept him. And I felt that they would have at least challenged for a Champions League place next season, that's for sure. But I don't know now. Be interesting to see who they get in. But Chelsea fans, let me know in the comment section what you think. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about this story. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.